mentioned that we are going to have a special interview that is with Chester Mweenda, who is the director from Open Development Media, and Royd Kachela, the media director from Muvumbo Development TV. And I'm your host, Movement, with Rishka. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kachela.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So today we are discussing on a topic that is to deal with the abuse of Atan among the youths. So before we start our interview, kindly just tell us a brief background about your organizations.
Okay. So to start with, Mweenda Chester is a community worker, a philosopher, and also a managing director for Open Development Media, a media house for everyone. Its main focus, it is to do with development, meaning everything that is happening in our communities. Actually, you own it. The communities own it. Yes. It's only that we are there to see to it, to say that everything is running according to the way it should be. So otherwise, in the simpler terms, it's yours. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, just like my colleague has rightly put it, my name's Kachela Lloyd, Bishop, managing director from Muvumbo Development TV. Well, we are online media, but obviously focusing so much on development activities happening across the country. Okay. Yes, sure. So we are here to basically show the people what the activities which are happening or which are taking place across the country, because most of the times we find that there's a gap, in people getting to know what is happening. So like he put it, it is a community-based TV. So we are basically here to work with everyone. We are here to work with you. We are here to work with the communities. So that's basically who we are.
Wow.
Sure.
Sure. Well, you talked about a community-based working organization. Now, in our community, there is this trend that has come up of junkies abusing Atans, per se. It is drug, they are abusing Atans. So now, what do you think are some of the underlying factors driving youth to abuse these drugs? I'll start with Mr. Mweenda.
Okay, thank you so much. As you may be aware, Atan is something which is made out of marijuana. So what causes, there are a lot of causes, but I'll go culture-wise. In Zambia, we have a culture, we are known for our culture, and we are known to care for one another. So as we are right now, we are focused much in the Western culture. As a result, we are leaving other people vulnerable. I'll give an example, the way we used to live. If you are my cousin, I'll make sure to say, your children, they are my children. If I have something you don't have, I'll be able to accommodate them. But this time around, it is your brother and their children, that's all. It ends there. Even though you've got money, you cannot look after the children for your cousin. At the end of the day, these children, they are left vulnerable. Okay. As a result, I would say we have neglected our culture, which makes our children, some of them, they are vulnerable. They don't have where to go. At the end of the day, they end up in the street. Yes. Second, I would say peer pressure is another thing which is making our children to be involved in such a drug. True. I'll give an example. You go to Chivoria or Matero, you find that our children have been destroyed because of the same.
Yes.
And the reason is very simple. If you tell me to say there are no jobs, we don't have what to do, I'll say no.
Okay.
Because we have got what we call skills. As we are speaking right now, education is free.
Yes.
Meaning somebody cannot tell me to say, I don't have a job. It is just something like peer pressure,
Yes.
which is making our children abusing this drug. Sure, for now, my colleague.
Yes. Mr. Kachela,
Yes.
how can community-based organizations or groups like your group, mentorship programs support or scale up or to address drug abuse? How can this problem be addressed?
I would really love to talk about team working.
Yes, yes.
So this is not supposed to be a one-man show for me.
Yes.
Yeah, we are supposed to collaborate, and in this case, we are talking of the Drug Enforcement Commission.
Yes.
We are talking about the Ministry of Health. We are talking about the community leaders
Yes.
coming together. Okay, and we should obviously not leave out the parents.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. So we are supposed to collaborate, address the issue as it is without actually, putting some oil on it, as it may be trying to make it look as if it's not my problem. Because it's not supposed to be a one-sided problem. So what we all need to understand to say what affects me affects you. What affects you affects me. Why? It's because we are living in the same community. So we need to look at it, from the broader side of it. We're coming together. Only then are we going to fight this.
Yes, sure, definitely.
Yeah.
No, right. Do you think maybe there is just some lenience in the policies when it comes to the policies and the laws when it comes to punish these drug abusers? Do you think maybe it is not that much stiff, or maybe do you think we should implement in laws that should be stiff when it comes to these people who are abusing the drugs?
Okay, I think before I even go that far, like he was explaining, I think we have a lot to pray, everyone.
Okay.
You talk of the church.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have to offer support. We cannot simply necessarily leave it to the government to say the government have to look after these children who are abusing this drug. Then we'll lose it.
Yeah.
We all have the duty to do, even the radio stations, like what we're doing now, the communities. Then from there, we'll be able to collaborate, like you have asked to say, do you think we need to introduce stiffer punishments? If we work together, we sensitize the dangers and the repercussion which it can bring when somebody is involved in this drug, then we'll be able. Because you can bring stiffer punishment, but without giving the knowledge to these people who are abusing it,
Yes.
it is nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing, definitely.
Today you take them, but still they will still come back and start abusing it. So knowledge, for me, I feel knowledge is something which we have to work on before we even think of introducing punishments.
Yes.
The knowledge has to be given to these guys, and it takes you, me, to go out there, the church. Then we shall make sure to say we bring to an end to this.
Yes.
Then coming to maybe also, I would like to urge maybe the police, not necessarily like stiffening the punishments,
Yes.
but they should maybe introduce programs which are sensitizing.
Sensitizing.
Yes, making sure to say they go on the ground, they educate these stars about the dangers of this drug. After educating them, they also educate them the repercussion after abusing, because as you may be aware, these people, when they abuse this drug, they do things which are not normal. To them, they feel it is normal because they are hyper at that moment.
Yes.
But to somebody like me and you, we may not see it to be normal. So I feel if the police were to go out there and explain to them the repercussion when they're involved in such, then we have, I think, where to start from. Yes, because if we're just to come here to say, okay, everyone who abused this, we give them a 5 years sentence without educating them, then it is nothing. We're destroying them. So our main instance should be, we look at the solution, not at punishment. So for me, we have to work as a team to see to it to say, we find a solution to these challenges. When we do so, then we can talk of the punishment to those who would not want to join hands to change, to reform, and also to be people who will be respected, people who contribute to the community and to the country. Thank you.
So
And maybe just to add on, I think if we are going to concentrate much on a stiffer punishment, I don't think we'll be hitting the nail on the head. Yes, I'll give a very good example. I think everybody knows how hard and dedicated the C5 are working here in Zambia.
True.
This is actually in line with robberies.
Yes.
I think the guys will really need to applaud the good work which they're doing.
Yes.
Okay, they are on the ground. One thing that they are known for, which is actually their household name, is that they shoot.
Yes, they do shoot.
They do shoot, and they have killed several youths.
Yes.
But the question is, have we seen reduction on the vice? The answer is no.
No.
And yet we are talking of killings.
Yes.
Okay. So I punishments. It's about the engagements, the levels of engagements, like he's put it. The church is supposed to be involved.
Yes.
Supposed to be involved.
Yes.
The communities are to reform. I know a lot is being done, but it also takes the persons involved. How ready are they to reform? You know, how ready are they to reform? Sure.
And you've talked about educating them, sensitizing. What sort of education should be spread in order to see change?
Well, in this case, I think practicals are very important.
Yes.
We need to refer, or rather have reference points of their own colleagues who actually, you see, we've seen guys who are moving like robots this time around.
Yes.
I think let's use those as a very good example to say, I mean, if you are not going to take care of yourself, this is the direction you're taking. This is where you're going to. Yes, let's have the rehabs. I know we have the rehabs, but maybe one of the unfortunate things is that some of them that we have around are actually expensive.
Yes.
To access. You see, so we needed a number of them which are going to be accessible, even for those that feel like they want to go and get help. Yeah. So it's practicals are supposed to be there. Let's show them the direction where they're going to.
Yes.
And are they okay to go in that direction? You bring a guy who is moving like a robot, ask them what's good about this person.
Yes.
I feel that way they should be able to get sense out of it, or other than just grabbing the cigarette away from them. Let's show them something that is going to help them to come to terms with what
I think these are the issues, like you talk of HIV. We have given them a lot of attention.
Yes.
You go in almost every institution, you go to education, there will be a topic about HIV. Almost every course. So if we are to take his side, education is needed. How do we do it? We make it compulsory to teach our youngsters to say, in as much as we are giving you skills, when you go out there, you find temptations.
True.
And these are the very temptation we're talking about, the drugs. But then, if you are to put much concentration on these drugs, whatever you're doing is nothing. If we give them knowledge, I feel it will make an impact. Somebody immediately you want to do, you know that at times you may be a Christian or not, but whenever you want to do something which is against, you find a certain voice saying, but there is this, there is this. At the end of the day, even when you do it, you feel guilty yourself.
Yeah.
Meaning you've heard it from somewhere.
Yes.
You have been taught from somewhere. Same applies if we are to teach our children. Then we have community, or we have youths who are well informed. As a result, they will do things in a normal way.
Yes.
Sure.
In as much as we sensitize and educate these people, don't you think that there is a loophole in between when it comes to access to these drugs? Don't you think it is just easily accessed, and that is the reason why these people are abusing it?
You see, that I think sometimes I feel it's very important that we are always practical. I've lived in a situation where, in an arrangement where you're in a fence, okay, there's a girl child in there,
Yeah.
and they are told no going out after 18. And because this young girl has a boyfriend out there, the gate is locked, but they'll still find their way out. It doesn't mean that they're out there because it was porous. It still comes back to individuals. Now, when it comes to the issue of the supply chains, I think these guys have actually well organized systems under which they operate. And now you may also need to know to say, we are not just talking about expensive drugs to access. They have also advanced to a point where some stuff, they're just locally produced, and how they do them, you don't know.
Yes.
Think of access for glue. There's just a way, they'll get this mixture, get that mixture, and somebody is able to sniff. So it's something which is very, very difficult to care. Yeah, I know drug enforcement has a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
They have a lot of work to do.
How do we put in, or how do we call the church to come in and help the community so that at least cases are reduced?
On that one, maybe before he comes in, I feel infrastructure is part of it that needs to be put in place.
Okay.
It should be able to accommodate these youths.
Okay.
We should have infrastructure which is going to keep the youths maybe the whole time. Okay, keep them engaged in activities that are supporting them to grow in the manner that they should be. They'll be responsible. So I think infrastructure is one of them. Then to obviously engaging with the parents, engaging with the youths. They should have an open door to the youth that are struggling with these vices.
Okay.
Sure.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
You have something.
So like you said, the church, I would say the church stands out to be the best institution to help out in this whole issue. Why do I say so? You'd agree with me to say these children, they have got parents.
Yeah.
These parents, we have churches where they go to.
Yes.
Meaning they understand children who are involved. As a result, you can only sort out the problem which you know. You cannot sort out something which you have not seen, or something which you have not been taught. So by the fact that these parents were from within these churches, they are privy to the idea to say, our children, they are abusing these drugs.
Yes.
As a result, if we introduce these lessons in these churches to say, we help out on the dangers of these drugs, it will help to reduce it. Also, the churches, they can collaborate with the government. Like my colleague has said, we need infrastructures. Right now, the church may not have resources to do so. But if they were to come up with a plan to say, we want to come up with this building, the instance of this building or this center we are building is for this, I think the government cannot fail to help out or to come in.
Definitely.
So I feel the church stands out to be the best institution to help out.
Yeah.
So all what is needed is collaboration between the church, the non-governmental organization, the police, the Ministry of Health. Then we'll be able to at least reduce these fires.
Okay, so Mr. Mweenda,
Sure.
how can parents know to say my child is abusing drugs at an early stage?
Okay.
How can they know? Because you would find somebody has been hiding all this time, they're doing sneaky things, then you just notice their loss of weight, suddenly they start behaving in a certain manner, then you'll be like, no, he was just okay. Yes. So how can you help parents know to say this is how you identify that somebody has been using or abusing drugs?
Okay. No matter how you hide, but when you abuse a drug, you would agree with me to say there is change of some behavior. I'll give an example of alcohol.
Yes.
If you have never taken alcohol, when you go out and you take alcohol, even though you try by all means to say my parents shouldn't know, there will be like a foreign behavior in you.
Yes.
Immediately you reach home, you find that maybe you're a cool girl, you're a cool man, but when you reach home at that day, you just maybe stories just starts coming from nowhere.
Yes.
Just dancing, just laughing from nowhere.
Yes.
Then, as a parent who is so caring to a child, then you'll be able to, you have to see to say, there is a foreign behavior in my child.
Yeah.
After doing so, we know how to go about it to understand what could be the problem in our children. Immediately you notice for the first time,
Yes.
that is the right time when you have to approach your child. Immediately you approach that child, he or she will know also to say, my parents have noticed something.
Yeah.
And it will be easier for you to control it at a first stage. But then if you leave it to say, today he comes, he portray a foreign behavior, you leave it as normal. Tomorrow he does the same. The other day he does the same. The day you approach him, you find that it is too late.
Yeah.
It is too late. And I would say sometimes it is us parents who contribute to these children being destroyed by drugs.
Exactly.
I'll give an example where you find that maybe as a parent, you only have one child. You say, no, my child, I don't want to be anyone to harass my child or to beat my child. Then you find to say that child has got brothers, cousins. Even though you notice a behavior in that child, immediately you try to control the child, she or he will say, no, because he has a backing from the parents. He won't get anything. At the end of the day, by the time they realize to say, what I'm doing is destroying my child, it is too late. So I think the earlier the better. In the first stages, immediately you see a foreign behavior in your child, that is the best way to involve professionals. We have trained people who are counselors who are able to do to attest and to help out how we can get out of these drugs before they're addicted. Because when somebody is addicted, it will be difficult for you to help out. So in the first stage, that's when I think that's the best way parents can come in and help the children.
Yeah, but maybe just to add on, Mr. Mweenda,
Yes.
I really feel it's not supposed to be a challenge to to detect, to say, no, this is happening on my child or on my children. The major reason why it has become difficult for us parents to detect this at an early stage is the difference, or rather the how available have we been to our children. The communication between ourselves as parents and our children. So there's that dry joint, which is not allowing the electricity to flow. Okay, so I think we need to get closer to our children. We need to know them better, because most of the children that we have as parents, we don't know our children, and I think this is the number one problem. So we are not going to detect what is happening in their lives until we have built on that relationship. The bond has to be built. So that is one of them. Sure, I
Sure.
thought I did it.
Within 2 minutes time, should the focus be on preventing the youths from should the focus be on preventing youths from initiating drugs or providing treatment and support for those already struggling with addiction? Should the focus be on those who are about to be initiated, or should we focus on those who are addicted already?
So we are not going to neglect either of the two. They have to move hand in hand. So we have to look at them, rather attend to both of them at the same time. So each side of the coin here is very critical to address.
All right.
Sure.
Sure.
Last question for Mr. Kachela. How can we stop the stigma surrounding the drug abusers, the so-called junkies? You know, how we treat them in the community. Ujani junkie che, musie. How can you address what can be done to stop that stigma?
I think it's about if you look at how it happened, because back in the days we had, when HIV/AIDS was just getting to be widely known in our communities, I think there was that heavy stigma. Yeah, But then what happened? Because it's not as it used to be back then. What happened? It was all about publicity. It was all about educating the communities, and I think that's just what we need to do. Let's educate our communities. Let's accept and embrace everybody to us. Only then are we able to help them.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There you have it, our listeners out there. We had Mr. Chester Mweenda, the Director for Open Development Media, and Mr. Roy Kachela, who is the Media Director for Movumbo Development TV. There, as we end the show, any words for the community?
Okay, like I said earlier, I think we need to love one another.
Okay.
Let us love one another. I gave an example to say we have neglected our culture.
Okay.
Back in the days, you find that in the evening, we would make sure to say we all come together.
Yes.
We start educating one another on how we're supposed to live.
Yes.
By doing so, we will be able to detect the negative behavior in a certain individual.
Yes.
So I feel we shouldn't neglect our culture. It is very, very important. And let us love one another. By loving one another, what I mean is let us care for our children. Could be your biological child or your neighbor's child.
Yes.
By doing so, we'll be able to help out our children who are affected by these drugs. Also, let us show love to them.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I was born in Chibodia.
Okay.
Yes.
Grew up in Chibodia. Under that pressure of having drugs around us and all those bad vices, but I still chose to fight through and stay away from the vices.
Yes.
So yes, from one side of the coin, it's about peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
On the other side of the coin, it's not about peer pressure. It's about how weak you are towards peer pressure.
Yes.
However, the point comes out to what my brother is saying here.
Yes.
Let us embrace everybody. Let us love one another. If it's possible, let us, as families, eat on the same plate.
Yes.
That is no longer happening.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Mweenda, Mr. Kachela,
Mweenda.
and Mr. Mweenda.
Thank you.
The pleasure is ours.
Sure.
Thank
It
you so
was
much.
nice having you.
Thank you so much.